Hello YouTube world, it is Liam, the Deaf Doom Metalhead, and I'm doing a death metal tape collection update. I haven't done one of these in a little while. And basically this year I've started collecting death metal in cassette format as well as CD, vinyl, but I've started collecting cassettes this year and my goal was to kind of keep it purely death metal, because if you kind of cross over into black metal, doom and all that kind of thing, it's going to get silly and it's very, very addictive. So this year I'm trying to keep it strictly death metal, so all the cassettes I picked up this year are in that kind of death metal subgenre of some sort. And I've got a load here that all fit that category, so hopefully you'll get something new out of this. There's a lot of new releases here and you can go check them out for yourself. So the first one is a 2021 release that came out a couple of months ago, and that is UK's Slimelord with Moss Contamination. This came out through Dry Cough Records and is their second EP. Band formed well, maybe 2017, maybe just before that, I'm not sure, but they had an EP come out in 2019 called the Delta Death Sirens, and this follows on from that, and this is far heavier than that previous EP, to me anyway. The tone on it, the band sound more with it, you know. The previous EP was good, but this kind of it sounds a fuck ton heavier, if I'm honest. Guitar tone, it sounds better production, you know, the riffs are a bit more heavier. And I saw these guys live literally as I received it on my doorstep that morning before I went to London to go see these guys. And these guys are brilliant live as well. Very atmospheric, doomy, but then they bring in the death metal parts really well. Their vocalist reminded me a little bit like Barney from Napalm Death, and his approach on the vocal style, the way he just went for it. It's not your kind of traditional death doom where he kind of sit back and just growls and kind of keeps still and morbid. He was totally different today. He didn't really fit in with the rest of the band if you pictured it mentally, but then when you saw them live it just all worked really well. Considering the sound of the band and how they portray themselves on stage, they're very different, but it works just as well. Band features a few members from Cryptic Shift, the drummer, guitar player and the bass player. So yeah, really cool band, sounds nothing like that other project. And these guys are based out in Leeds, and that north part of the UK, there's so many bands around that way, like Manchester, Yorkshire way, there's Leeds, you know, there's loads, all churning out really cool music. And Dry Cough Records, being a Manchester based label, will put this out. Tape looks superb. Vinyl, for obvious reasons, doesn't exist at the moment because of the pressing situation. So this came out pretty much instantly as soon as it was announced, and I picked it up straight away. So yeah, really cool release. So if you like the previous EP, this one I prefer. I would say is more better. That's good English. Is better, and yeah, just go buy it. It's really good. Keep it simple. Right, next one is a Japanese death doom band. Band I'm very fond of, and one I've shown probably a dozen times on this channel, and that is Coffins with the release The Other Side of Blasphemy. This is a 2021 repress through Life After Death Records. Originally came out in 2006. I am using notes if you keep wondering why. Look over there. And yeah, love me some Coffins. Japanese death doom, but these guys are more crusty punk kind of death doom, so when they get going it's got a punk vibe more than a brutal death metal vibe, and then the guitar tone and all that kind of thing has that kind of fuzziness to it, like natural sounding, nothing like a 90s American death metal sound, or not, you know, nothing like that. It's very much an organic kind of punk kind of sound. Cassette looks like that, which is really smart. And yeah, I've got the previous one through Life After Death, they re-released, and there's another album they've put out, but I've already got the vinyl, so I won't be buying that because I don't want to kind of fall into that rabbit hole of, you know, buying multiple formats of the same album, because it just costs too much money and you don't need it. You know, just listen to it on one format, and if this dies, then, you know, I'll go and find it on another format. But yeah, really great band, and another release that's spot on, you know, really good band. I mean, most people will be aware of this because it's been out for a number of years. And Coffins, you know, they don't change their sound too much, so yeah, really cool. Now this next one is a 2021 debut full length, no it's not, it's an EP, and it is their debut EP, yeah. Band formed in 2018, but this is obviously a 2021 release. This is Phantasmagore with Insurrection or Submission. This was put out through Headsplit Records, who I must say as a label have pretty much half my collection is in their name, because here in the UK we have Grindfather Records who kind of brings in it all from the States, and this is one release I didn't think I'd ever get. It's one of those ones that's an American pressing, all the Americans get it. By the time it gets over here it goes to either Holland or Germany, and the shipping is just rank, but I was really chuffed to see this here in the UK, and this is fucking amazing. Band are based out of Chile, and it's just filthy, really underground death metal. The bass on this is absolutely sickening. The way the tone is, it's very fuzzy, but not in a traditional bass sound. It just sounds like vomit, and it works so well. It's a very grindy sounding album, but the riffs you cannot predict. The time changes, the tempo changes. It's just all over the place, but in a really good way. And this is, to me, how death metal can sound if you've got no images of what you want to sound like as a band. You're not copying anyone, you're just going all out with what you want to do, and the energy on this is really high. So kind of like almost like a grindcore album to a point. Band looks like that, and you got lyrics and thank yous in there, but it's just brutal. The first track for me is my favourite. There's a breakdown riff on that then goes into a kind of ridden hi-hat riff. It's fucking awesome. And then it goes into another riff you can't predict, and it's just all over the place, but in a really cool way. And I love that artwork as well. It kind of sums it up for me with a bright orange cassette. So yeah, go check out Phantasmagore. That is on streaming services, and that is well worth your time. Really, really cool release. Right, this is another repress. This is out through Nuclear Winter Records, which is a Greek record label, and that is Plague with Portraits of Mine. Now this came out originally last year, and is now finally on tape and vinyl. You can get it through Redefining Darkness, but Nuclear Winter Records did the tape. I believe this is a Greek band, but I'm fairly sure they are, but I can't remember 100%. Artwork is done by Pablo Girardi, who's done Hyperdontia's albums. Who else has he done? There's quite a few, I can't remember off the top of my head. But really, really cool artist, and I love his work. Tape looks like that, just simple gold shell. But if you haven't checked out this band, they are like they're death metal, but they've got that kind of, I want to say they're Greek, so I'm fairly sure they are. They've got that kind of Greek death metal sound where it's very melodic, really well produced, very heavy. Solos, everything on it is spot on, and just a really, really cool band. So if you've not checked this out, this is their debut full length. The band formed in 2011, and it's only took them until 2020 to put an album out. So, you know, all those years as a band, it must be good. So yeah, go check it out. A really, really cool album. It was only on CD last year, so it's fairly sure that's quite tricky to pick up now. But I ordered this only 4 days ago, and it came straight from the label in Greece to here in 4 days. So you can't really complain about that. So yeah, really, really cool album. Right, next one is, well, these next two even, are 2021 releases, both based in Finland. First one is the band Galvanizer. I can't even read what the album title is, but it will pop up down there. This is another Headsplit Records release. Galvanizer are Finnish, death metal through and through. They've got that very guttural sound, but they also remind me a lot of bands like Undergang, Hyperdontia, even a little bit like Blood Incantation. They've got all those kind of vibes going on, but they're not copying them at all. You know, it's very a Finnish sounding death metal band, but they've got more progression in their music. It's very heavy, very riff orientated. Band formed in 2013. They have an album out, I think, that came out in 2019 before this one, and that was good, but this, it absolutely shits all over that one. This is way heavier, better production. Tape looks like this, kind of a green shell. Isako and Oho Records in London have done the vinyl, so you can pick it up through them. And yeah, a really solid band. 3-piece there, there's a picture of the band there. And that focus so you can see it. And then yeah, nice thick J card with lyrics and thank yous. And yeah, absolutely spot on band. You know, I blind bought this. I never listened to a note of, you know, this at all before I picked it up. And yeah, just absolutely fucking spot on. So if you like yourself some Finnish death metal, you will not complain about that at all. Next one is slightly different, but also based in Finland. This is Skulmagot Will Kill and Die. This is another Headsplit Records release that came out this year. Now these guys do borrow from a certain sound. These guys sound very much like Cannibal Corpse's Eaten Back to Life era. Very much in that vein, but not completely the same. They've got a kind of punky vibe going on almost, and a bit grindy vibe as well. The shell looks like that, nice clear red. And I believe these guys are only a 2-piece. There's only 2 chaps there in the J card. But if you like your early Cannibal Corpse, you know, you'd be very surprised if you didn't like this, because it's very, very, very similar. And a lot of people have reviewed this and said the same sort of thing. Artwork is very simple as well. They have a full length prior to this. This is all their second full length, and they formed in 2015, these guys. So yeah, really cool album. Very short, I think it's only about 30 minutes long, if that. You know, very to the point. But you know, production wise, everything sounds like very early 90s sounding. So if you told me this came out in 1990 or something like that, I would believe you. But yeah, spot on with that. I really enjoyed that. Now this next band are based out of Spain. They do have a 2021 release out at the moment that I haven't yet checked out, but this is one I picked up from them that came out in 2019 is their third full length, and that is the band Altarage with The Approaching Roar. Comes in this kind of matte black shell kind of cover. Came out through Sentient Ruin Records, and the album looks like that. I believe there is a vinyl version and a CD version of this. But this is very murky, atmospheric, blackened kind of death metal. So this band kind of churn out very atmospheric, very thick, very morbid sounding death metal. So it's not like 90s US style death metal or anything upbeat. This is more pure, hateful, very atmospheric, drawn out death metal. Now the cover, if you can see it, I don't know, someone's drowned. And there's like kind of some zombies reaching out to it, or just other corpses in the water. But this was a blind buy for me. This was on sale at Repose Records for about £4. I took a punt, and you know, wasn't disappointed at all. Knew nothing about the band prior to it. I just kind of saw the price and kind of the artwork on it, and I thought I'm probably going to like it. You know, if not £4, you know, it's less than a pint nowadays. Band looks like that on the J card, which I thought was really smart to use a space like that. And if you've got good eyes, you can read the lyrics. And then the picture of the band there, look at all mystique and mysterious. But yeah, like for a blind buy, that was really smart, and it came well presented. Sentient Ruin always do that. They're kind of like a posh label to me, or the way they put out their albums are very arty. The bands they pick, you know, very atmospheric, and all their releases are very much like that. So Altarage are a really cool band, and there is a new one that's come out this year, I believe through the same label. So go check it out. Right, next one is a Canadian death metal band that follows on from that kind of certain style, but more riffy. So they're kind of blackened death metal as well, but more, like I say, a bit more riff orientated. And that is, I think I pronounced it right, Shezmu, with some kind of French title, which I'm going to put down there. But yeah, don't believe these guys exist anymore. So this is their debut full length, yeah, from 2020. But on Metal Archives, it says they've now split up. So they formed in 2016, I believe there's a few EPs prior to this, but this is their debut full length from last year, and they're already split up, so that sucks. So I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but this album, really cool blackened death metal, very much nod to a little bit like Dark Throne in the way it's the production on it sounds. It doesn't sound crystal clear or nothing like that, very modern. It's very much, that's why I kind of was drawn to it. I listened to this on Spotify a lot before I picked it up, because it was just randomly an album that was suggested to me, and I listened to it for ages, and then this also popped up in the Repose Records sale, so I picked this up for also £4, and yeah, I love it. Artwork is some kind of painting, I've seen it somewhere before, but a really cool album. But it's a shame they've split up, because you know, I quite like these guys, they're very good, so go check it out. Really cool album. And lastly, a 2021 debut demo from a band that's only formed this year as well. They're based out of Stockholm in Sweden. This is Black Wound with To Endless Depths. I don't know if you'll even see that with my lights, but there's like a purple kind of head on that cover. Now, I originally recorded this video and I tried to read there, but I could not fucking read that for love or money. But it does say To Endless Depths, but my eyes couldn't see it, and I'm not that old, so that's quite worrying. So this is Death Doom. Very much a demo, sounding demo. It's very much, sounds like they recorded it in the room, just kind of churned it out, which I like. Demos don't need to be fancy and, you know, overproduced. If you can capture the live sound of a band, you know, that's all you want it for. And this, pretty much what it is, it's just a recording of them playing live. And it's solid Death Doom, very murky, fuzzy, very heavy. And these guys are, I think, are quite a young band as well, so, you know, be interesting to see what they do next. I believe there'll be a full length at some point. That's already been written or has been written. So yeah, go check out some Black Wound, dry cough release, very cool band. So yeah, 15 minutes, happy with that. So this is my death metal collection update. If you like what you saw, please go check out other videos or hopefully pop around my head at some point. Thank you to everyone that's subbed the channel recently. If you are new, please consider subscribing as well and liking this video to kind of help me out and tell YouTube, hey, this is a cool video. In the meantime, please take care. I will speak to you all in the comments below. Cheers!